Hey, let's make a Halloween moon and I'll show you my new toy. Welcome to Up All Night DIY. I'm Monica. Thanks for joining me. My lovely friends Connie of Connie's Woodshop and DIYs and Brenda of Rustic and Lace have asked me to guest host this month's What Would You Make challenge, and I happily accepted. I'm so excited because I love this monthly challenge and it's the perfect time to try out my new hand router. I received a hand trimmer / router from Vevor. I've wanted one for a while now. This seemed a good fit since it's compact and hopefully easier to handle than the big old heavy router we have. It does seem pretty well constructed, has a decent weight to it without being heavy, probably about the weight of a drill, and the cord is decent length. There's an operating switch at the top, and there are 6 speeds. The base is easy to remove, making changing the bit quick. It came with 2 cullets, a 1/4 inch and a 5/16. The cullet is where the bit screws into, or, fits into. These 2 wrenches are included to loosen and tighten the bit once it's in place. Easy enough to do. This is the 1/4 inch cullet, and it fits right in here into this shaft. You put the hex nut back on. It also came with a set of 12 bits for a variety of finishes. I'm going to use this one. It's one of the rounding bits. I'll pop it in and tighten it up with the wrenches. I finger tightened it and then just a couple of quick turns with the wrench and it's nice and tight. I'll slide the base back on and I'm going to adjust it to the depth that I want. Now I'm just looking here on the side to see where I want it, and I'll snap it shut and we're ready to go. Now I will say that directions in the booklet are not great. They're a bit confusing, honestly, but fortunately for me, my husband has experience with the hand router, so he answered any questions I had, but overall it was pretty simple. It does come with additional pieces, a straight guide and a roller guide. I won't be in need of those today though. I'm sure I'll try them out eventually. I just want to round the edges to the stand for today's project. Okay, let's give it a go. I cut a 4x4 piece of pine for the base. It has a 3/4 inch depth. I have the speed set at 2 and I have it resting on the wood, but the bit isn't touching the wood yet because I don't want it to kick back on me. I turn it on and then bring it into the wood right at the corner. The blade spins clockwise, so I'm moving it away from me first. Then I'll come back and then I'll move forward again, doing my best to keep it level. I do want to mention that I have eye protection on and I'm going to turn this off before I set it down. There you go, that's not bad for a first go. Okay, let's trim the other sides. You know what, let's smooth this up a little bit, a little further away. Turn it on and get going. I do this side the same, up, back, then up again. The other side. Same thing. Up, back, and up again. The other thing is that I try to keep the router moving. I didn't stop in one spot. I just kept it moving. I didn't want it to dig into one spot more than any of the others, so I try to keep the movements fluid. I gotta say, I really like it. I think it's really pretty easy to use. It's, like I said, the weight of a drill. And for my purposes, I think it's perfect. Now, if you were building furniture or something, you probably want something a little more heavy duty. But for my purposes, good stuff. Look, not bad at all. I'll put a link in the description box for you and have a discount code for you too. All 3 pieces of my project are ready for paint: the moon, his hat brim, and the stand. This project is super quick, guys. I'm going to apply 2 coats of Ceramcoat white to the moon, front and back. I'll give his beautifully trimmed stand 2 coats of Ceramcoat charcoal. And his hat brim will get 2 coats of charcoal as well. And of course, his hat will get 2 coats too. Now I know I've said this before, but I prefer to use charcoal over black because it's a softer, almost black. and I just prefer it. This way, if I wanted to shade it darker, I have black to go to, where if I'm already at black, can't get darker than black, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure to get the edges as well. So I lightly sketched on the details with a pencil, and I'm painting a charcoal shadow along the left side. I'm starting just below his hat, and I'll keep it narrow up there, and it'll get wider as it moves toward the bottom. I thought that giving it this odd shaped shadow made it feel a little more mid-century atomic. Know what I mean? Yeah, let's fill in this little gap here. I'm using a 0 liner brush and Terry's favorite Hippo Grey paint to paint in his features. I'm keeping the features simple and kind of loopy. His face was inspired by a moon that I saw. I want to say it might have been a vintage costume, or maybe it was candy box. I don't know, but I really liked it. I liked the loopy aspect of it. So that's really what inspired this cute face. I'm going to paint in the lines of his mouth across the edge too, you know, just for consistency. I pulled out my mini checkerboard stencil to add some interest to the base. I've had this for a million years. Anyway, I'm just going to pounce on some Hippo Grey using a cosmetic sponge. Ta-da! And let's add some checks to the brim too. Time to shade this guy. I've got my Folk Art floating medium. You know I do. I prep my brush with the medium. Then I'm going to side load with Ceramcoat Bittersweet Orange. I'm going to do that by scooping up the paint onto one corner of my brush. See? I'll stroke my brush on the plate to load the bristles. This spreads the paint about halfway across the brush. The darkest color will be at the corner, and it's going to fade as it moves toward the middle of the brush. That's giving me that gradient of color. So I'll float the orange across just under his hat at first. I reload my brush as needed, and let's add some to his cheek. Let's do along his nose and chin. I'm keeping my strokes and the color really soft. Now we'll go right along the shadow on the left. Yep, that'll do. Now I'll float the charcoal sections with Hippo Grey, and it's the same process to load my brush. And again, I'm just going to keep it really soft and light. Now real quick along the hat. There we go. Good stuff. Decided to float the checks with the whisper of Bittersweet Orange. Just a whisper. Gonna add a couple of vinyl stars to him. I cut these with my silhouette. I like to keep these on hand because I use them so much. Let's add a bittersweet drop shadow to the left of the stars. And once again, I'm using my 0 liner brush to do this. Highlight his eye with a white dot and some dots on the brim. Why not? And we'll do some orange too. Just 2. Need some stars on the stand, right? And we're going to add a drop shadow to these 2. I'm stamping the word spooky across the front of the stand and a 31 on his hat. I put 3 more stars here on the shadow, and now we're adding a drop shadow. I lightly sand to distress, particularly along the edges of the stand, the hat brim, and all along hem. I attach his brim with wood glue and a couple of dots of hot glue for a quick grab. I'll do the same to attach the moon to the stand, but for more security, I will also add a corner bracket to the back. These are 1.5 inch corner brackets. I'm going to mark the screw holes, then I'll drill pilot holes and add the screws. And I'm going to use 1/2 inch wood screws. I'll spray him with a coat of clear matte sealer, and our Halloween moon is finished. He was quick and easy. Let me know what you think. I'm really pleased with the way he turned out, but you know, I love to make moon projects. Thank you, Connie and Brenda, for hosting and for asking me to guest host. It was an honor. You'll find links to their channels, as well as the playlist in the description box, my supplies, and please be sure to check out all the talent and show them some love. I'm also going to include a link for Vevor in case you're interested in the router. I have a discount code for you too. I am an affiliate, so I will receive a small commission if you ordered through my link. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and all that good stuff. Stay creative, my friends. Thanks for hanging with me. See you next time. Up all night with Monica.